Welcome to another episode of Curtain Call Conversations. I'm here today with Hersh Dagmarr, who will be bringing his new show, Indefinite Leave to Remain, the songs of the Pet Shop Boys at Crazy Coqs this Friday, the 28th of June. How are you today?
Hello, how are you? Good?
Yes, very good, thank you. So we actually were very lucky to come and see your show back in March when you performed it at Bistrotec's Cockatoo in London. And my reviewer that came along gave you a 5-star review. He absolutely loved it. So for the people that don't know about the show, please tell us what we can expect from Indefinite Leave to Remain.
First of all, thank you for inviting me to this interview.
You're
And
welcome.
so what can we expect from the show? We can expect a night of cabaret, music with live piano and me singing. And Indefinite Leave to Remain is essentially a love story to London. And the whole show is like a dialogue with London as if it's a partner or someone that you're involved in a relationship. So it's a love letter punctuated by the songs, by some of the songs of the Pet Shop Boys. Yeah.
Sure, it sounds brilliant. So, I mean, what is it about the Pet Shop Boys music, for example, that made you want to sort of build the music around their back catalogue?
I had always had the idea to adapt the songs of the Pet Shop Boys. First of all, I'm a huge fan of them,
Mhm.
and as a French native coming to London, and an Anglophile, and the songbook of the Pet Shop Boys were always sounding like London to me. Don't
Okay.
ask me why. It's just like a
Mm,
pure gut feeling. I could hear London in their music
okay.
and in the atmosphere that they were describing, and the themes involved. So that was a no-brainer for me because I came up with the idea of doing a show that is a conversation with the city of London. And to me, the songbook of the Pet Shop Boys were just ideal. It
Yeah,
just was perfect. And
amazing.
also, I love the idea, always was interested because I'm doing cabaret and I've been doing cabaret for quite a few years now. And I started doing quite classic form of cabaret, mostly centered around the work of Kurt Weill or French chanson. And so more classic
Mm,
cabaret, classic songbook. And I was really interested in just taking something that is not written in this manner and just twist it and adapt it to this style, to this genre.
sure. Okay. So do you live in London now?
I am, yes. I have been
Yeah.
living in London for the past 12 years.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much a Londoner right now.
Yeah. So what is it about London that you love so much?
Um, it's so hard to describe, but it feels like it's the kind of city that I felt that I knew before I even had one foot in London, really.
Yeah.
It's just like an attraction. I mean, I idealized it and I discovered it through the lens of the nightlife because I was uh, quite a devoted club kid
Okay.
and was attracted to, on the other side, nightlife.
Hmm.
And I came in London and I discovered all the club, all the nightlife. And also there was a sense of communities living together.
Mm.
There was a sense of acceptance of each other community that I was very attracted to. And so yeah, it's hard to put into words why you're attracted to a place or
Yeah.
a person. It's just
Yeah. Oh, it's
right.
great. Yeah, it's a great city. I mean, it's got everything that you could possibly imagine, and obviously theatre is a big part of
Yeah.
London. I mean,
Yeah.
what's your background? I mean, where did performing come from with you? I mean, was it always something that as a child that you were, wanting to do as you grew up, or was it something that came a bit later on?
I always was a performer as far as I can remember. I always was interested in spectacle and shows and singing.
Yeah.
I always sung as far as I can remember. I was singing on the top of my lungs. So it's pretty much of a natural inclination, I would say.
Mm.
Um, and then I always I was involved in like music as a singer, joining bands at the
Okay.
beginning, and then I was also doing cabaret stuff and more like started as a jazz singer as well.
Okay.
So I had all kind of like bands and project at the same time. And then I got really involved, as I said, in into the nightlife, and then I fell in love with electronic music and dance music, house music, and I started collaborating with all kind of producers, mostly French, and I was mostly like working with people bringing me music and me bringing like melody lines and lyrics.
Mm.
So I did. That's my other love, actually. It's that world, the world of dance music, electronic music. So, which is more
Okay.
like even avant-garde, futuristic kind of sound. So I
Okay.
really have an eye on the absolute future, and I'm very interested in the very past as well.
Yeah.
So I have this duality in my artistry. So the cabaret show is something that was always dear to me, and the music making and producing, because I started producing my own music myself.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is this two-headed monster.
Sure. Okay. So the show itself, I mean, how long does it take you from sort of having the idea for it to be ready to be performed on a stage? I mean, what's the process like?
So first of all, I have been starting doing more of like a radical, like pure cabaret form,
Mm.
uh, only for like a few years, maybe 5 or 6 years, that I've been really putting together a classic cabaret form, like in the sense of it's a piano and me singing
Mm.
and bringing all the storyline and drama and the whole show about it. And I've been collaborating with this excellent pianist and arranger called Karen Newby.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so she is very accomplished and very knowledgeable, and she can tap into all kind of influences because she's so very well trained.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I've been collaborating with her, and I started working with Karen Newby, which is my main collaborator right now for the Cabaret project, and we exchange idea. So I come up with a theme, and I said I should talk about this. So obviously we start with like a mere idea, and then we narrow it down to something more precise. And I
Mm.
love to rate the songs. I think now, having been doing this for so long, I can have a sense of like what song can be adapted to cabaret and what song will work, or what I want to include in the show. So it's a back
Mm-hmm.
and forth with me and Karen,
Yeah.
and eventually we have the show together and we perform it enough so it's living by itself almost.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, how long have you been performing this particular show? Because I know we came to see it in March. Was that sort of the first time it had been performed, or?
Indefinite Leave to Remain,
Yeah.
no, we have been performing this for like a little more than a year now. It's
Okay.
been quite popular, so we've
Yeah.
been performing it in quite a few places, and the Crazy Coqs being one of them.
Sure. I mean, it's a great venue, Crazy Coqs. I mean, how do you feel about sort of small, intimate venues? I would imagine that, that's sort of like the group that you play um, to to get a more personal sort of experience with people, I guess. I mean, do you enjoy sort of the closeness to the audience?
I love that. I really love that. I love the Crazy Coq. So far, it's been my favorite place to perform at, and
Mm.
it seems like it's very quite unique on the London scene right now, as in
Yeah.
supper, cabaret club, art deco, and with very various kind of acts.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, I really love to perform at the Crazy Coq. Sorry, what was your question again?
Yeah, just how you felt about sort of performing within a close proximity to people. Do you prefer
Oh yeah.
that? Yeah.
I absolutely prefer
Mm,
this. I love to see people's faces.
mm,
It's not always the case that you can. Sometimes you can see people's faces for the way lights or the light system is structured. Or at the Crazy Coqs, I don't feel like you can really see people. I would really need to just like make an effort to go and look at people.
yeah, yeah,
But I do love to see people and have eye contact and yeah,
yeah.
sing to yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did you still sort of being a performer for quite a few years? I mean, do you still have the same feeling going onto the stage as you did perhaps when you very first started performing? Is the love still, big within you, if that's the right phrase to put it?
Yeah. This is not something I feel like uh unless you perform just every single night and you do this
Mm,
ad nauseum, I don't really see how you can, when you have that in your blood, I don't see how it's something you can grow tired of.
mm,
Um, if anything, the more you do it, the more you like to do it, because the more you
mm.
do it, the more you hone the craft.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and so it's very pleasurable to know what you're doing, or like having the feeling that maybe you are more in control of what's happening. I mean, in the beginning, you're more or less trying something out and you hope for the best. But after a few years of experience, you know what you don't want, and then
Mm,
you make your style more defined. So
sure.
yeah, the love of performing is the absolute. I mean, I always say that my favorite moments are the few hours or minutes leading up to the actual getting up on stage, the whole
Yeah,
building up. There's no going back.
yeah,
Um, this is so great.
yeah.
This
Do
is
you do
great.
you have anything that you do all the time before you go on stage? Do you have like a thing that maybe that settles you down, gets you ready, maybe?
I don't really have a ritual,
Mm,
but I do love to prepare everything as much as possible in advance.
yeah,
So I don't like run around like last minute trying to sew a button or
yeah,
uh, like fix little details. I'm very I love the visual presentation as well, so things has to be quite right,
hmm,
and I love to think of everything as much as possible in advance, so I don't have to think of this.
yeah,
Um, I don't. Besides making sure everything is ready and early, I'm like I don't really have a ritual. I try to
yeah,
vocalize,
yeah, of
obviously,
course, yeah,
and stretch the vocal cords, and yeah.
yeah, perfect. Well, that's all you need to do. That's great. So going back to the Pet Shop Boys, then, I mean, do you have an ultimate favorite song of theirs?
Um, it's a good question. I love so many of their songs. Obviously, the song that I love the most I included in the show.
Yeah,
Uh, First, it's great melodies and obviously lyrics. There's so much wit and humor in a lot of them. Um, which one would be the best? The one I like the most? It's so. I mean, I really love "I'm Not Scared," which was
okay,
sung also by Patsy Kensit, Eighth
okay,
Wonder.
yeah,
Yeah, I really love that's I really love that one particularly. I don't know why. It
yeah,
says it has a story, so
mm,
um, I love this kind of lyrics,
yeah,
and it depicts like a very precise situation in a relationship. I do feel like maybe it's about a couple who's on the run or something.
yeah,
And the melody is great, and so maybe that would be. I mean, this is the one that I have like the one that I have the most pleasure to do to perform.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, there's obviously a bit of a resurgence with It's a Sin when that was sort of re-released by Ollie Alexander, I remember. I mean, do you think that the sort of your audiences, do you find that there's a particular age group that come and perhaps with that sort of, redoing of It's a Sin for a younger market, maybe your audiences have changed a little bit?
I don't think there's a particular demo
Mm,
for this. No, for some reasons, it's really all kind of people, I have to say, and also
mm,
like from different venues that we made, we had different audiences.
yeah,
Uh, no, I don't think there's a particular profile to the audience
sure,
for the show. It
sure.
covers a lot of people. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of fans for sure.
yeah. But everybody welcome, I'm sure.
Oh,
So as I say, the show is at Crazy Coqs on Friday. So you're nearly at show day. I'll pop on the next slide where people can get their tickets from if they want to come. So just to say to people, why should they come and see your show?
well, they should come to see my show because it's fantastic, and because it's a great show. It's a show that's coming from the heart, and it's the magnificent songs performed in a way that were not performed before. If you're a fan or not of the Pet Shop Boys, but those songs, I didn't take like I have the hits in it, but it's
Mm,
not necessarily the most famous like
yeah,
songs all the time. It's the songs that I thought were going to do a great illustrate like a point I'm making at this point in the storyline. And they should come because it's a great night of music and a great night of live performance, and also because it's the perfect frame in the Crazy Coqs.
yeah.
Uh, it's just so beautiful. The place itself is a show. It's so
Mm.
glamorous and visual, and the sound is amazing. Yeah,
It is a beautiful place to perform. So good luck with it. Thank you for having a chat with me today. It's been a pleasure. And I hope it all goes well for you.
thank you so much. Thank you for
You're
having me.
you're very welcome. Take care.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.